Hello, my name is Ali and this is a video on defining the options and controls within RPG All-in-One. So if you open up the RPGAIO window and go to Game Settings and Controls, we can start to talk about the different options we have here to customize how the player can control the game. So the first thing is we have this can fast travel on map. So the map system isn't completely implemented at the moment, so I'll probably cover that in a later video. But essentially it's just whether or not you can click the buttons on the map to fast travel to different locations. So next one is the camera mode. So we have 4 different camera modes right now: standard, top down, first person and manual. First person again hasn't fully implemented but will be supported completely in version 1.2. Standard is just your typical third person view, top down is a top down view, and manual is where you can manually control the camera. So it won't automatically position itself where the player is. But typically you want to use either standard, top down or first person, with manual being used mostly for cutscenes. So next one is the default graphics. So these are the graphic settings that are set when the player first opens the game. So you have your quality levels, your anisotropic filtering, texture qualities, vertical VSync and shadows, and whether or not the game starts in full screen or not. In version 1.1 there will also be an option here to choose a default resolution, so you'll be able to use that as well. Next we have our default audio settings. So just the master volume, probably want to start this off at a slightly lower value than normal, and the different volumes for music, which is like background music, sound effects for things like footsteps or skill sounds, voice and dialogue for dialogue, and ambient for any ambient sounds that you place in the game mode. So next one is controls. So these are the main controls for the actual game. So first of all, we have a couple of options here. So shift and attack to attack on the spot. Holding the run key to run. So if you have the run key assigned as shift, if you hold down the shift key then you'll run. But if you have this unticked, then if you press shift then you'll be running, and if you press shift again you'll be walking. We also have enable camera target lock. So if you have an enemy selected, it will make sure that the camera's locked around that enemy. We also have click to move, so that's pretty much used for top down, so you're able to just click on the ground and your character will move there. And also enabling interactions with a key. So we have now keys you can assign to selecting the target, confirming the cast, attack, attacking in place. So obviously you can change the shift and attack to attack on spot from shift to something else. How you interact with characters, so you could change this to perhaps an F if you're close enough to an NPC, targeting the nearest enemy, and sprinting. So below that now we then also have the default controls. So these are basically your typical buttons, so moving forward, moving backward, rotating left and right, rotating the camera left and right and such. You also have things like strafing, jumping, interactions, and then shortcuts for the inventory, character sheet, quest book, etc. So the thing to bear in mind here is you can set all of these buttons from within the RPGAIO window, and you can also do key combinations. So for example, let's just change move forward from W. You can change to control W, or shift and W, or even alt and W. You can basically just choose any kind of combination you want, and that will set it for you. And you also have an alternate button that you can set for it, maybe like the up arrow, down arrow, and for strafing you could have left arrow and right arrow. Now if we go to our sprint over here, which is set to shift, you notice there's a little tip here about assigning shift. So if you press shift here, it won't actually do anything. You have to press shift and escape, and that's how you assign shift to anything. And that basically covers the default controls. You can basically just assign any key you want to any of the controls, and later on in game we'll be supporting the option to change the buttons while playing. So hopefully this video has been informative. If you want to find out more about RPGAIO, check out the link below in the description, and have a lovely day.